Hey witches, I gotta make some candles today, but first I have to go to the store to pick up some supplies. So let's do
All right,
this.
so I'm in my car now, and we are about to head to the first store to pick up the materials that are vital to making our candles. So let's go.
Our first stop is to the wine and spirit store, and our second stop will be to the craft store. All right, here we go into our second place. We're looking for some materials. Okay, so here's a section. You see soaps and candle making, and this is what you would be looking at. Are some candle wicks. We're going to need Here is the wax that I like to use because it is microwavable. There's plenty of options here, like you can get a votive mold where you can make your own votive candles, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put my things in a mason jar. Okay, I'm gonna go check out because I have the rest of the things that I need at home.
So it was a successful trip. The first stop, we picked up some spirits, and in the second stop, we picked up some wicks that are already ready to go, which is perfect, and some meltable soy wax. Now you can use other types of wax, but I'll get into that later. The other materials I do have at home, so think of your essential oils or your herbs, the tears of your lover. All of those things can be found in your home if you already have it. And plus, I think I have a mason jar already ready to go to make my candles. So let's review the materials that we are going to need.
For your soy wax candle, you will need a bottle of liquor. Any will do. Wicks with clips, soy wax, mason jar, or a glass jar from yogurt container works well too. Optional tears of your lover, herbs, resin, and or essential oils according to your intent. Optional moon water or holy water for blessing your candle or drawing sigils on it. Optional flames from hell.
All right, and now we need some music in the car to set the mood for our meditation. So let's turn on the radio.
So now I'm going to gather some materials that I need to make my candle. So I have my wicks here and my wax here. Let's see what else I have. These are some essential oils I have over here, and in here I have a collection of some herbs, so I'm going to use that, and perhaps, here we go, some moon water. And oh yes, I also need, let me also get my smudging sticks so I can cleanse my materials, and I think I have gathered enough. So it's really important to think about what your intention is for your candle, because it will change the types of herbs or oils that you are going to use for your candle. So I'm making a general candle, and I would like it to be for just, overall protection and energy cleansing of my home. So for that, I'm going to use, I have some rosemary oil. I got it from Botanica up the block. And I'm going to use some of my frankincense resin. And frankincense resin is good for some protection. And I'm also going to use some of my bay leaves for the intent of protection as well. And I also have my rosemary herbs for just clearing negativity. So I'm going to use these herbs and a little bit of the oil to create my soy candle. Now, once we have gathered all of our materials, we're going to want to cleanse them, because of course you wouldn't cook food without washing your hands. You don't want to be a dirty cochina. So what I would do is I would take my bundle of sage and I would cleanse my actual material. So I'm going to go ahead and take my mason jar and all of the things, and I'm going to cleanse them first, and then I'm going to start making my candles. So I'll catch you in a couple of seconds. Let me go ahead and cleanse. So here are my materials that I'm going to use to make the candle, and as you can see over here, I have a wee yogurt container instead of a mason jar. Okay, so you remember earlier when we had went to pick up our supplies, one of the supplies was going to the store to pick up some spirits, because Like any good witch, I love to conjure my
Our
spirits.
spirits.
Of the evening is Terramana, which, you know, if we break it down, it's earth spirit. So let us conjure the spirits of the earth for our candle
That
making.
thing like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't quit. All you ladies pop that thing like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't quit. Just do it, do it, do it, do it, do it now. Do it good. This just like you should.
Yes.
Right.
Pour it in a shot
It
glass.
does mean a spirit, or spirit of earth. So do not.
Hail to the guardians of the earth. Now I will melt the wax according to the instructions that are on the side of the box, except I'm not going to use a thermometer because I like to live on the edge. So here I am reading the directions of the box. I'm going to take my wax and pour it into a microwave safe bowl. Although the flames of hell would be ideal, the microwave is a quicker way to do so. So let's pop it in 30 seconds and let's go. So the first 30 seconds, I'm going to stir it up. Yes, I have a chopstick in my hand. Use whatever you have. It needs some more time to melt. 30 more seconds for you. Now I'm going to stir it up again. It's getting better, but it's not quite there. 30 more seconds. Okay, so this is the consistency you're looking for. It's all melted. So now we got to take our wick and dip it in the wax. So that way we can put it in the bottom of our jar. I'm going to let the wax set a little bit so that way it can be stable in the bottom of my jar. And once it's all set, we are going to once your wick is set at the bottom, you can take, what I've done is I've taken a pen and I've just rolled the top of the wick to keep it centered and steady onto my candle. Now let's prepare our wax. This is the time now while the wax is melted that you're going to want to add in your herbs and your oils, whatever you were going to put in it, and fill it with your intent. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding some herbs. So I will put in some of my rosemary that I said I was going to put in. Let's sprinkle some of that in there. I'm going to save my resin to put on the top of my candle. And I am also going to put some of my essential oil, my rosemary oil. And I'm going to put some drops of it inside my wax until the spirits in my house tell me that it is enough. Now I'm going to stir it together. I'm going to stir my wax clockwise while thinking of my intention for protecting and clearing my home. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my whole bay leaves and I'm going to dip it in a little bit of the wax so I can set it inside my jar. Now we're ready. I have my bay leaves inside my jar and I have my wax that is mixed with the rosemary essential oil and my rosemary, and I'm just going to go ahead and pour it into the container. So now my wax is all poured into my vessel. Now that my wax is all poured into my candle holder, I'm going to just sprinkle some of the extra herbs on the top. So I'm going to take a little bit of my rosemary and I'm going to sprinkle it on the top so it can settle into the wax as far as my resin, I am going to wait until my candle is actually set so I can, or close to being set, so I can put it on the top without it sinking to the bottom because this is a little bit more dense. Another thing that you can add on is I would take my bay leaf if I had, and I could use a little bit of crumbled pieces. I'm just crumbling it in my hand and just putting those little pieces at the top so that way it can dry nicely into my wax. So the only thing that's left to do for now is wait for my candle to set. So I'll see you back in a few. Okay, so my candle is about semi-set, so now this is a good time for me to go ahead and add my frankincense resin to the top, so that way it can just stick inside just a little bit. Look at it as it is starting to get harder, and I even had a little extra wax, so I made a little tea light of the same thing. So, you know, waste not, want not. So here is what the frankincense resin looks like. And I'm just going to go to the top of my candle and plop some of those on there like so. Now that it's dry, I'm going to remove the pen and unroll my wick and then just take a pair of scissors and trim the wick just like that. You see? Okay, so now we have trimmed the wick and our candle is set. And so what I would like to do at this point is use my moon water or your holy water or the tears of your lover to go ahead and anoint your candle with some blessings. I use my moon water to draw Reiki symbols around the glass jar, and then I laid my hands to infuse with the Reiki energy. Of course, you can use whatever you'd like and use whatever symbol or sigil you would like. So here is my completed candle. I have infused it with Reiki energy, and now I'm going to put a little earth magic into it. I want to set it out for the full moon, and I will set it out at the moonrise and bring it back inside my home before the sunrise. So that way I have Luna's beautiful energy also infused into my candle. So I have set my intention, and I have cleansed it and put healing energy into it and some earth magic, and when that is all complete I will light it up and let it go. So that's basically how I make my soy candles with some Reiki healing and earth magic, and I hope you found this informative, and that's it. See you next time.